Hello and welcome to the North Bank podcast, where I am joined by Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hello, mate.
Steph's on his sick bed, so get well soon, Steph.
So he says.
Well, he says. I mean, having said that, I'm not sure he'd have turned down the opportunity to have a little bit of a rant at what's going on in the Arsenal world at the moment. I had my original plan for this podcast was a bit more hopium. And we were going to kind of cast our minds forward like the next few games and then see where Liverpool can drop points and so on. But we had the little bombshell news, the most inevitable news of the season. Days after Arteta lauds Havertz's impressive physical condition, he's out for the season, torn hamstring. OMFG, as the kids say, or they did say about 20 years ago, perhaps. What on earth? I mean, what's going on? How do you tear your hamstring on holiday? I mean, I've got. As this season has progressed, I've become increasingly concerned, and I'm choosing my words very carefully. Increasingly concerned about Arteta and his role in this season, and this is giving him an awful lot of credit for the 3-4 years prior to this season. Absolutely took us from an awful place to challenging, genuine. Challenging for the league title, and this season hopefully the Champions League. You know, it's been brilliant. The transformation of this club in 4 years has been fantastic. But just as much as you can compliment and congratulate and praise him for that, I think you can criticise him for what's happened this season. Look, we've had a bit of bad luck, but I've been banging the rotation drum for a season and a half, as in Arteta just doesn't do it. And Saka's injury is on Arteta. I don't care what anyone says, and to be fairness, I don't hear too many people saying anything contrary to that. I think most people say that Saka was overplayed, or there were opportunities to rest him and they weren't taken. Not buying a stand-in for Saka, forcing Saka to play every game. Now we've got a 17-year-old who's kind of come to the fore, which is great. Like, I'm not knocking that, but we shouldn't be relying on a 17-year-old to bail us out if Saka's not available. Havertz was dead on his knees after the Wolves game. Everybody could see it. Like, he collapsed. He had nothing left, and he plays 200 minutes in the next 3 games. And what is Arteta doing? What's the training session where your striker tears his hamstring and is out for the season in mid-February? I'm angry.
Yeah, we're doing some drills apparently. I mean, this we can have a sort of echo chamber of agreeing here. And I thought before we came on to record, I agree with you, but I'm trying to offer some mitigation from the point of view of and you can tear me down, Holly, but otherwise we're just going to sit here and we're just going to go yeah. And I think what would be more kind of interesting would be to sort of pose a few. Okay, number one, how much is it Arteta's fault that we didn't sign anyone? He was insistent, in the presses beforehand, quite outspoken in his need for a striker. So how much of that is on him and how much of it is on the club? Jason, what's his face? In not agreeing and saying we keep our powder dry and we wait until summer, which, I can understand where they're coming from, but the need was there. And I've said to you recently, that it went past the point of, being picky about who we got in. It became a case of we need numbers. We need just an alternative. And this was just with Jesus' injury, before Martinelli went down, before Havertz went down. But I would pose that as the first thing, is how much of it is on Arteta in not having signed a player?
Okay, I take all that with January, but summer was a piss poor effort in the transfer window as well. Keeping our powder dry till next summer. Well, what was wrong with last summer? Was Sesko genuinely our only option, and we had zero pivot from that?
Here's the other thing with that is he looked probably at the stats of last season and how we managed to keep players fit, and he's always banging that drum of they should expect to play 50 games a season. This is top level football.
He said 70. He said.
Did he say that?
Every 3 days, top.
Right. So, but how much of that was luck last year that we managed, aside from Timber, to keep the squad essentially pretty fit? How much of that was luck, and were we sort of performing above a kind of line, and this is a reversion to the mean kind of thing in terms of you get injuries? I think we've obviously dipped way below that now in terms of the injuries we've got. So I do feel there was an element of leaning into that luck, if you like, or the stats of last season in terms of the squad generally.
Yeah, for sure, there was, and that's negligent. These guys are human beings. They're not machines. You keep playing these people, they will break down. Yes. They're all getting muscular injuries. The Ødegaard one was the only one that wasn't really. He got a knock playing for Norway. But
yeah,
go on.
Well, I was going to say about with the Havertz one, for example, to what extent would they have had a red flag that he was on the brink of a hammy? And I don't know. I'm not a medical person, but I know that the stats that they have are all about oxygen efficiency. Do you obviously the physical thing of do you feel any twinges? The players sometimes lie and just say, no, I'm good, I'll play through. I don't know to what extent there was a kind of, a red flag, amber flag to say that he was on the brink of that. Yes, he was exhausted, but a lot of them are exhausted, and maybe a 3-4 day rest and they're good to go again. So again, I'm just trying to find a kind of an alternative viewpoint.
The fact that his hamstring tore, I don't care what the stats have said, that they should have been blaring red flashing lights as a warning. So that's on that. But I know we had this conversation before. You always talk about the eye test, and that's not Dan Boots Pharmacy opticians. That's what do you see on the field in front of you. Well, he was run into the ground. Saka was being run into the ground. He had 2 mini hammies prior to the big one. Saka did. And it's like, you don't need a bloody computer screen to tell you he needs a rest. Look at him. I don't care what he's telling you. And the fact that Saka had to play so much and that Havertz has played pretty much every game. I mean, Havertz kind of covers 2 positions, I guess, as well. Is because there is nobody back up to give him a rest. Arsblog talked about it quite a bit during January. This is an opportunity for the club to help the players that we've got. Help them be available for every game by resting them, by managing their minutes, which is why we needed reinforcements. I mean, I know we backed ourselves into a corner in terms of Premier League loans, because we already had the 2, Neto and
Sterling.
So we couldn't get someone like Ferguson, for example, which I think, you said last pod, and I agree, I would have absolutely, he'd have been worth a punt on loan
Absolutely.
for 4 months. And if it works, but again, bodies. But Tell at Spurs, I've watched him play about an hour for Spurs. He looks really quite good. He scored a goal, nice little finish as well, in a game they lost, so that's fine. I can credit that. And Asensio came on for Villa, and I was like, oh, he looks quite good. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I know, and I'm going to risk antagonising fans of other clubs here, but with my complete Arsenal blinkers on, surely Tell and Asensio would have chosen us for a loan spell, if it was just a loan spell. Tell wants to, he turned down a permanent move to Spurs. He wants to reassess his options in the summer. So he was, wherever he went, it was always going to be a loan move, and he wanted guarantee of minutes. Well, hello, he'd be guaranteed all of the minutes if he'd come to us. And Asensio, I mean, I don't know, Villa doing much better. Like they're still mid-table or just above mid-table, but they're having a great season and they're playing really well. But wouldn't he have chosen possibly a team going for the title and in the Villa in the Champions League as well, but maybe also with a bit more of a realistic chance of going a bit further, perhaps? I mean, I'm saying that as the caveat is we could lose all of our remaining games. I've no idea fielding 12-year-olds by the time the season's over. So surely they would have been worth, but I don't know. What is it? Stubbornness, arrogance? I don't know who's making the decision. You're right, Arteta was really quite vocal and open about the need for reinforcements. Declan Rice said it in a post-match interview. Like the feeling's quite clear. And isn't it funny that the window closes and two of our remaining attackers, like their bodies may have just thought, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like
we're just waiting for Trossard now to stub his toe getting out of the bath.
Can I read a tweet from Gunnar Punner? I don't know his handle on Twitter, but this was going to be the last word. I was going to leave this, but you've just mentioned that now. His tweet made me laugh. He said, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli all injured, and Trossard running around refereeing Champions League football, for fuck's sake. And that's obviously a nod to the referee for the City game. It's like yesterday. But I just thought it was brilliant. I was going to leave with that little bit of a light-hearted note, but I don't want to. I want to leave with angst and seethness because it is just it's relentless in Arsenal's world since that Havertz bombshell dropped. Thanks, David Ornstein. Out for the season.
It does for me. It does smack of arrogance a bit in that, like I said, even with just the Jesus injury, that they didn't take a broader view and just think, you know what, we'll just get a body in, and if the profile isn't exactly what we want, we'll just do it anyway. It's a loan.
It's just a loan. Absolutely,
it's not an obligation. Yeah. It doesn't have to be long-term view. So that's obviously bitten us on the arse in a huge way, and yeah, there will be regrets. But like you said, if you take a longer view of the kind of policy, if you like, over the last few seasons, and you gazed into your crystal ball and you foresaw this, and here we are. They're looking. They're waiting.
I think everybody foresaw this. You didn't need a crystal ball to see that this was going to happen. It's like just on a numbers game, as you've mentioned. But don't worry. Listen, I have some good news. I do have some good news. Diego Costa and Carlos Vela are available as free agents.
Right.
So relax. There you go.
He's about 52 now, isn't he?
I think Costa might be. I think Carlos Vela's 34.
Well, he can come and chip a few goals in, can't he?
Yes, that was his. Listen, he can play football. I mean, we are, and I haven't looked at them. We have got the two guys, Kabia and Oyedeji. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
But like the fact he's 22 and he made his first appearance, a week or two ago, can we really expect him to come in and make it? I mean, now is the opportunity. Now is the time for Sterling to step up, isn't it? If ever a situation was made for hero making, it's now.
Here's another little sort of glint of light. If we had a striker like Havertz, or rather like Haaland is for City, very much the focal point, and you took him out, you'd see a big drop off of efficiency. So I think we should look to not just the front line, but others to weigh in, like the Odegaards and Rice, even, where they were scoring, some useful goals, certainly last season. So let's see them up their game a bit as well. It's, we've tended to score by committee. It's not like we've got this kind of out and out. I think Havertz, 8 goals in the Premier League or something? It's not like he was tearing it up. I know he's our leading scorer overall, but I would like to see now everyone step up and make up that, the shortfall, if you like.
Or set piece FC needs to come back to the fore, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Saka may be back sooner than,
Well,
And,
mid to late
mid-March.
March, isn't it? I know we've got United away on the 9th of March, and we are not going to have, I joked that we had 2 attackers plus Sterling available to us, just because he's done absolutely nothing. Our fixture list is kind in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm not saying we're going to win these games, but it's kind by comparison. It's like Leicester away, West Ham home, and then Forest away on the 26th of Feb. And there are remaining 3 games this month. We can still put out. I've picked my team for Leicester. it's a team that should still win that game. Ben White's back. Ben White will be, apparently he could even be back in the squads for Saturday. So look, obviously this is Arteta's dilemma, self-inflicted as it is. But what solutions, internal solutions? Love it. What internal solutions do you see open to him, realistically?
Well, changes of formation so that we're not over-reliant on the strikers, like I said, in trying to get the midfielders involved more. So we could go to the sort of 4-4-2 shape that we had when we lost Ødegaard. And we could even go 3 at the back, and it's a bit out there, but there are MLS I would see as a very good wing back, and like you said, Ben White coming back in, he's not bad bombing forward either. So I think there are options. Timber, of course, in terms of formation change, just jiggling it, because if you try and get a 3, single pivot midfield with 3 up front, who are your 3? You got Nwaneri, Trossard, Sterling. Not sure.
Well, there's no target there, so you could put Marino in the middle as a. He scored 37 goals in his career so far. It's not too shoddy. I don't know how, in terms of movement, he'd be quite static perhaps, but Havertz wasn't the most mobile, I guess. So that's an option. But you could put. Lewis Skelly is a midfielder, so he could play further forward on the left-hand side. Or you could put Zinchenko on the left-hand side and play Calafiori at left-back. And, so there are options on the left-hand side. I think Nwaneri plays until Saka comes back. Nwaneri's starting every game on the right-hand side. He simply has to. It would be a madness if Arteta doesn't play Nwaneri on the right-hand side, because he's clearly demonstrated that he is the next best thing we've got on that side to Saka. So don't move him anywhere else. We're already missing through the middle. I think Trossard will have to play through the middle in that false 9 position. And, Sterling on the left. Could it take the pressure off? Nobody has any expectation on us now at all. Could it work? I saw a couple of maybe tongue-in-cheek Arsenal fans tweet, "We're going to win the league without a striker." There, I've said it. I don't know who that was. Darren Arsenal.
Well,
I think that
City
might have been.
did it. City did it when they I think in the seasons or 2 maybe before they got Haaland and they'd lost Aguero. I think there was one season where they won the league without a kind of recognised out-and-out striker.
That wasn't when they had Jesus, was it?
Probably. But as we know, he's not an out-and-out striker.
Yeah. Well, listen. It'll be interesting. I'd suggest that we've got very similar teams predicted for the Leicester game on Saturday. I picked my team before Havertz, but we already knew he was not going to be playing, that there was a scare about his hamstring. That was the word that had come through yesterday. Obviously today then he's out for the season, so that's him scuppered. But look, okay, well we're on that. Let's go with the Leicester team. Have you got your Leicester team?
Has Steph given anything?
Yeah, I've got Steph's Leicester team.
Let's have it.
He's gone with Raya in goal. I did hear someone say that Raya should start up front against Leicester. I don't know what. I don't know based on what, but Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Partey, Ødegaard, Rice, Nwaneri, Trossard, Sterling.
Yeah. I've got the same personnel, but I've put a question mark in terms of the shape that they'll have, and I think it might be possible to have a midfield of Nwaneri, Ødegaard kind of coming in as a more centrally, if you like, and then Partey with Rice on the left, Trossard and Sterling kind of up front. Do you see what I mean? So more 4-4-2 as an option.
Can you rely on Sterling defensively? I don't know, mate. Is he all right defensively? I don't know. He'll have learned. He'll have had to be under Pep.
Well, it'll just be behind. Yeah, but he'll drop when we lose the ball. It becomes 4-5-1, and again, like you said, we don't have the presence up front to knock long balls. Trossard's not fast enough to run channels, so that's my concern. Is like, okay, how do we break?
Yeah, because I mean, we have got no pace in that team.
No, that's the kicker. I mean, Rice is the most athletic, you'd say, out of all of those. So that's why I'd like to see him pushing on.
I mean, we're going to have to become quite clinical in we're not going to get an awful lot of chances, so we need to take them when they come along. I've gone for the same personnel, and I think he'll stick with the same system. I just, again, maybe just because he hasn't had enough time to formulate something else.
Yeah, and he does like to tinker. Apart from Partey, obviously at right back, he tries to.
How's he going to? He just sees this. He's going to see this as an opportunity. He's going to see this as an opportunity to play Partey at right back. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to see
he's
it.
He's going to say,
that's the solution. Yes, because we've got a whole week then between the Leicester game and the West Ham game at home, so that's probably more of a realistic opportunity to. He'll learn some lessons maybe from Leicester,
yeah.
and then
tinker, perhaps.
Yes, from that point. The other thing I asked Steph to do today was to go through Arsenal's remaining 14 league games and just put down win, lose or draw alongside it. I did ask him also to not allow narrative to impede his predictions. And then he proceeded to tell me that all the non-wins he's predicted are narrative-driven. I'm like, well, I asked you not to do that. But anyway, okay. So I've made a tally of his points. I've done it myself as well. And I've tallied my points. So
okay. We can do it live, can we? I'll just shout them.
Well, we'll do it live, yeah. So I need to just move this book over to my writing hand. Smooth. See that smooth.
Lovely,
right,
without making noises. Very good.
Okay, so look, Leicester away.
Win.
Okay. West Ham at home.
Win.
Forest away.
Draw.
We've gone from one of each, the three of us. Needless to say, I've gone for the win and Steph's gone for the defeat. United away.
Draw.
Chelsea home.
You want to say win. Win.
Remember, no narrative, just like
no.
In the cold light of day, should we beat this team? I know. As these games come up, one by one, we'll have very different. Very different views on it.
Mate, we'll be so decimated by the Chelsea game. I'll be getting my boots on.
Steady on.
We'll have lost everyone.
Fulham at home.
Win, surely.
You say that. I say that. Steph, on the other hand. Everton away.
Win.
Brentford home.
Win.
Ipswich away.
Win.
Palace home.
Win.
Bournemouth home.
Win.
Liverpool away. Not what we need to do, not what we should do.
I think we're going to go down there, I'm afraid.
Okay. Newcastle home.
Draw.
And Southampton away, last game.
Win.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick bit of maths now. Here's me adding up as an English teacher. Right, 3, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 29, 30, 33. 33. What are we on at the moment? 50. Right, 83. Okay, that puts us on 83 points. Do you want to do a quick rundown of Liverpool's?
Liverpool's remaining games.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. What's the story now? Did you have the score? Because we're recording this and the Liverpool game's probably just finished. So we have no idea. Well, if they've dropped points, I do, but...
2-2.
Really? Final
score.
Have you got the scorers? I mean, this is terrible for people watching because they'll know already, but I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Did they equalise or did they go ahead?
Do you want to know that? And if it's last minute, I'm going to scream. Oh, brilliant. Tarkowski equalised for them on 90 plus 8 minutes.
It's a sign.
That's great. That's a kick. I mean, I should have a tattoo. Draws are killers, because that's my mantra. If they draw 3 games and we win those 3 games, that's the points advantage wiped out.
If is a little. If
I know
is
it's a big
word.
if, but it just shows you they don't have to lose. If they go on a nice little draw run now, 3 draws, and that's right, isn't it?
Well, okay, so
if we win those 3,
yeah, we're 7 points. We're 7 points behind.
Okay, so now we're 7 behind. Yeah,
but then we beat them at Anfield. Obviously, the easy bit.
Well, if it comes to that.
Well, okay, look, so I actually predicted that Liverpool would draw at Everton. I put down a draw for that one, so I'm in. So Wolves, these are Liverpool's fixtures. Wolves home.
They'll win that.
Yeah, City away.
Lose.
Is that what you want?
No, I just think City will be, their tails will be up for it. Yeah.
Okay. I've said a draw. Newcastle at home.
Draw.
Southampton home. I've already put you down as a win. Villa away. Actually, do you know what? I think that game's changed from there. I've got that down as the 15th of March. I think it's in a couple of weeks' time. Because they've moved it. And I think... And Villa are missing 7 first-team players. It's just typical. Konsa and Watkins are the latest 2 to fall. Villa away.
You never know what Villa's going to turn up either. Sometimes they're...
Well, Emery won't want to do us any favours, will he? So.
No, they'll lose that. Yeah, so Liverpool win.
Okay. Everton home.
Have they not played Everton at home yet?
No.
They'll win that.
Fulham away.
Again, Fulham can be a stick in the mud, can't they? Yeah, draw. Let's go for a draw there.
West Ham home.
Win.
Leicester away.
Win.
Spurs home.
Win.
Chelsea away.
Let's have a draw there.
Arsenal home.
Win.
I got them. I've put down a draw. Brighton away.
Win.
And Palace home.
Win.
Okay, another quick bit of maths. Oh, I've got to add one on for that then. Right, okay. I'm saying you predicted a draw for Everton away. 4, 5, 8, 11, 14, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25, 28, 31, 34. What were they on? 56?
Yeah. 57 now. But
no.
That's not counting the...
Yeah, 90. So you've got them on 90 points. My predictions actually had Liverpool on 89 points. So you've got Liverpool finishing 7 points clear of us.
Okay.
Do you want my breakdown?
Yeah, go on.
This is in particular, this is for Steph at home. I've said we'll beat Leicester away, we'll beat West Ham at home, we'll beat Forest away, we'll beat United away, we'll beat Chelsea at home, we'll beat Fulham at home. We're going to match the run that we did when we came back from Dubai. I did these before Havertz's injury, before even the murmurings of an injury to Havertz. I did this with the news that Martinelli might miss 2 or 3 games and Saka coming back mid-March. It was all much more optimistic. Brentford at home 3 points, Ipswich away 3 points, Palace home 3 points, Bournemouth home 3 points. I said we'd draw at Anfield and we'll beat Newcastle and we'll beat Southampton. I have us finishing on 90 points and I have Liverpool finishing on 89. I've got us winning the league by 1 point.
Love it. I love it.
And I said Liverpool will drop points at Everton, away at City, away at Villa, and then away at Chelsea, and at home to us. So not a huge downturn for Liverpool. Like you say, it doesn't need to be, but we need to be flawless almost. You know, I've got us not winning only... I mean, that's ridiculous. What was I thinking? I've got us not winning one game. What an idiot. But it's listen, it's exactly what happened last season. We dropped points in one game in the last 16.
And drew one.
Yeah. No, who did we lose to?
City. We lost at home to Villa and we drew away to Man City.
Right, so they're the two games. Okay. Well, we've got two fewer games this time. We've got 14 games, not 16. We don't need to have...
No striker.
Okay, I mean...
Who needs a striker?
Who needs a bloody striker? Just an interesting thing about the Liverpool game tonight, and I don't mind talking about it now that they didn't win it. It was the first time they've ever named a starting 11 without an English player in it. They had Bradley, Northern Ireland, and Robertson, Scotland.
Scottish, yeah.
And they had 4 English players on the bench. I saw Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know who the other ones were, but I just thought that was a quite interesting QI fact. It was the first time they'd ever named a starting 11 without an English player.
Remember when we did that?
When did we do that?
Way back under Wenger, when it was the French lads, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like late.
So
90s,
I mean, English players at the moment. We've got obviously Hale End, Nwaneri, and Lewis Skelly, Ben White, Saka. We lost 3: Eddie, Reece Nelson, and Emil. We lost.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Rice.
I mean, Rice, of course. Honest, I meant to check this before we came on. Is Max Dowman legally allowed to play for us in the Premier League?
No. I
think it's because he was born after the 31st of August last year because he's turned 15 now, but you needed to be 15 before that. Because I genuinely, some of the clips from the Dubai training, like, as slang as I can get, he's mugging off pretty serious professionals in some of the things he's doing in training, and apparently that's par for the course for him. I'm gutted because he's a body, very young.
Well, physically he looks the part as well, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Do you think Arteta would blood him, even if he could play him?
Under normal circumstances, I would say no. But the fact that Arteta flagged up the point that he couldn't play Dowman because of his age, whereas in Europe he could play him no problem. Like if it was because they don't. The fact that he's thinking like that. He sees that he's ready. The fact they took a 15-year-old out of year 10 to Dubai training camp tells you all you need to know. I must admit, my mind has gone to Chido, who the kid away. He must be. I mean, fine. I'm sure he's enjoying his 30 grand a week, which was like 5 times what we offered him, or something like that. But he's nowhere. He's not even a sniff near the United first team, and they could do with a decent striker. But he must be kicking himself. Looking at what's happened at Arsenal now, thinking, I would be playing.
Yeah.
Like he certainly would. He'd be on the bench. He'd have been on the bench for the last number of games. He'd have got a few minutes here and there. But now, Martinelli and Havertz gone, he'd be getting 15, 20 minutes at the end of a game to see what he can do. But not to be. Steph said, play the kids, play the youth team, and then it takes the pressure off.
But if they don't produce, then it kind of puts the pressure on them in the sense that
it could damage their progress.
You've hung them out to dry basically, and I think I just think that it will be off the bench at the most. Carling Cup's gone now. You know, it's the wrong stage of the season to be blooding the young uns. I just think it's certainly not as starters.
Well, we've said this quite a few times, but we're one injury away from having no choice. Trossard, Nwaneri, one of those two get an injury. I mean, I know Martinelli might not be out for long, and Saka in 4 games might come back, but he's got to be careful with Saka. He had surgery on his hamstring, but Let me ask you this. Is this season over? Part A. And part B, has it been a complete waste and a missed opportunity?
Well, I think even if we had a relatively full squad, it would have been a bit of a reach to overturn Liverpool's lead. So I kind of feel like we will miss out on the title, but it needn't mean that it's over in the sense that there's still a lot to play for. I mean, yeah, top four, I think, certainly there. You know, I want to finish strong runners up to Liverpool, really, is the kind of realistic outlook. And the Champions League is still there. So I'm kind of optimistic, even though I feel like the league is probably done now.
Okay, I'm going to balance that optimism. Just looking at the Real Madrid-Man City game last night, and you look at the strikers they've got on the pitch, like ridiculous quality on the pitch. We're not going to damage the bigger teams in Europe with our strike force at the moment. We just struggled with our fully functioning, fully fit strike force. We'd have had a better chance, but take Saka and Havertz and Martinelli out of the firing line and we're going to really struggle. We might not ship a load of goals, but we're going to struggle to those tight games and those draws in the Premier League against obstinate opposition. We're going to struggle to get that extra goal to make it a 1-0 rather than a 0-0 or a 2-1 rather than a 1-1. So but I think that's you're not looking at us right now. Looking, yeah, fine, fair enough. You can write the season off, like finish a strong second to Liverpool. But our issues, yeah, granted, we've had some really iffy, dodgy refereeing decisions, but even in spite of those, some of Arteta's decisions have been bewildering at times. Like, I go back as far as the Brighton game. I was there in the ground and Rice got sent off and we're 1-0 up. It's the start of the second half. And Brighton had offered nothing in the game. And Arteta's decision was so negative that it just invited Brighton on and we dropped 2 points. And that I didn't like that. I didn't like his attitude in the Bournemouth game either. His decision making after we got reduced to 10 men in that game either. I thought it was overtly defensive. The Man City red card, fine. Look, you're 2-1 up and you're playing a whole half of football away at the champions. What we have, we hold is a fine approach to take. I don't mind that. And we were unlucky with the nature of the goal and the timing of the goal, 98th minute or whatever it was. So I get that one. So, but there's 2 points at Bournemouth and 2 points at home to Brighton. Add those 4 points to our total now. We're only 3 points behind Liverpool. It's a different story, you know. And so I think it has a complete missed opportunity, complete waste of a season now. And I reserve the right to completely revise that statement should we do the unthinkable and go on and win a league or a Champions League. I will deny ever having said this. In the face, I'll do a Trump. I will deny it, even though someone's showing me the video of me saying this. I don't care. It's AI as far as I'm concerned. Someone's deep fakes me or whatever. I don't even know what that is. But, like, you know, it sounds like it could be relevant. I don't know.
What do we before we wrap? What's our score predictions for Leicester?
Before we do the score predictions, I forgot, and Steph, I apologise. I need to run down Steph's Arsenal predictions for the remaining games of the season.
Oh, yeah,
and his final points tally. Bearing in mind, I've got a final points tally for us of 90. You've got a final points tally for us of 83. Steph said, after he gave his predictions, he said, feels like I've been pretty positive, to be honest. Okay, so just bear that in mind. He says we will beat Leicester. He says we will beat West Ham. He says we will lose at Forest. We will draw at United. We will draw home to Chelsea. Draw home to Fulham. Draw away at Everton. Beat Brentford. Beat Ipswich. Beat Palace. Draw home to Bournemouth. Lose at Anfield, lose at home to Newcastle and beat Southampton with a fantastic final points tally of 73. 17 points behind, lower than me.
Jeez.
And it should be enough. 73 should be enough for top four, but it's going to be basically a top four battle. Maybe top five gets in this season. I don't know, but
so he's got us capitulating, basically.
Yes. Yeah, he obviously couldn't cope with the fact he'd predicted us to win 2 games in a row at the start, Leicester and West Ham, and then we got after we beat West Ham, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go on a 5-game non-winning streak. I mean, if he's right, I'll be cross.
Yeah, he's insulating himself, isn't he? He's going with that kind of reverse jinx thing.
I've done him a little bit of a disservice. Oh no! I said 3 points Leicester. He's predicted a 1-0 win on Saturday.
Okay.
Is it a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday morning, or is it 3:00?
No, I think it's. No, you got me there. I'll have to check that.
You can check. I'll give my score prediction, which is probably same as yours. I'm saying we'll win 2-1. I don't know where the 2 goals are coming from.
I think it'll be 2-0. I think the away will suit us, and I don't think I'm too worried about Leicester. It is a 12:30 kickoff.
Don't say you're not too worried about Leicester. They just beat Spurs, didn't they?
Yeah, but come on.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, that's a sword waiting to fall, isn't it?
Well, yes. Long may it remain standing, if you like. But narrative: Ruud van Nistelrooy, Jamie Vardy. There's history. I think they've got a goal in them. I'm glad it's 12:30 kickoff. Glad it's a bit earlier. I don't know why. Just floodlights make me nervous in away games.
Yeah. Well, atmosphere. It's a bit of an atmosphere killer, isn't it? 12:30 when it's too early to have gotten tanked up. So hopefully it will just be a very sort of sterile atmosphere. We'll defend well, grind them down.
Yeah, it wasn't it. No. Where did I can't remember. I was going to talk about the amazing save that Maddison free kick that Ramsdale made an amazing save. Was that Leicester? That was Leicester away. When was that? A couple
season
of seasons
before last, I think.
Right. Yeah. So okay. Look, we simply have to win it. Simple as that. So if I just summarise, what we're saying is I've got us winning the league by a point. You've got us losing the league by a point, and Steph has us being relegated. Is that kind of a fair summary of where the three of us are at? Look, fingers crossed we don't have any injuries. No one picks up an injury on the kind of commute to and from London Colney, like twist a back, turning the wheel, steering wheel of the car or something. I don't know. Which is an injury that could befall me quite easily, but it's my back gone. I've just turned sideways. So look, pray to the injury gods or whoever that we get the players who are out back quicker. Obviously not Havertz, that's the season ending. Jesus, season ending. But your Ben White, don't underestimate the value of him at the back. Just a word for Tomiyasu. I feel so sorry for him that like such a quality player, such a nice person, and yes, it's frustrating that he's not been available, but like first and foremost, like you just feel sorry for him on a human level. I think it must be horrible not being able to play, and you know how good you are, and you're playing in a team at a club that's on the up and got a real fighting chance of proper silverware each season now, and you can't contribute. Must be for his mental health as well. It must be really tough. And I just keep everything crossed. He has his knee surgery if that's what he needs to have, and it fixes it, it solves it, and he comes back and has a great second part to his career, preferably at Arsenal. Right, listen. Okay, anything else to?
I'm spent. No, I'm spent.
We haven't had any Arsenal football and you're spent. Oh my God! Well, it starts again.
Well, at least we'll be, there'll be games to talk about. At the moment, it's all kind of conjecture, and we're just sort of wish casting, and let's just get playing.
Okay, but Liverpool dropped 2 points today.
Yeah.
So today is a good day.
The draws.
It's a good day. Yeah. It puts us. They only need to drop points in 2 other games, provided we beat them. It's getting close. It's not 3 other games now. It's 2 other games. That's it.
Correct.
And they've got to go to City and go to Chelsea. I'm ignoring the fact that we've got to go to Anfield at that point. But anyway, look, we'll catch up again for a Reacto pod at some point on Saturday after the Leicester game, hopefully. And in the meantime, wherever you are, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Have a good few days, keep everything crossed, and we'll see you again on Saturday. Cheerio, thank you, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Don't get injured.
Don't get injured. Stay healthy.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at NorthBankPod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by The Podcast Company.